going to turn my gain down a little bit, too. That's still too loud.
I
thought you said you were going to turn the gay down a little bit, and I'm like, damn, my bad. Let me just.
What do you think of the thread, Zoe? That's for tonight.
Oh, I love it.
I got this off of Etsy.
Sick. It looks like one of High's designs. Almost. Maybe not.
I don't know who that is, and if I should, I will feel better about it. Okay.
No, it's okay. It just looks like a shirt they made a while ago that had a bunch of DS9s on it.
Still, there is a whole store out there that has that a bunch of styles of these. There's one for Wrath of Khan that I wanted to get because Wrath of Khan's in theaters where I am.
Oh.
Yes. Full disclosure, by the way, I have had a series of panic attacks today, so I have just taken my anxiety medications. I'm going to be a little loopy.
I'm okay with.
I'd rather not cry on camera.
No. I'm okay with loopy, and honestly, like, if you don't have anybody to talk to when you have those moments, I'm happy to just listen if you need to, like.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm good. My dog actually noticed that I was having a panic attack before I did, and he started like pawing at me.
That's a good dog.
He would be a terrible service dog, but he's my baby boy. But yeah, so I'm a little loopy, and I might mess up my words.
That's fine. We're Beyond Trek podcast, not Perfect English podcast.
Beyond Benzo podcast.
Beyond Benzos.
Yeah, I'm on a benzo that has. I am on conflict right now. So.
Well, welcome to make your own cocktail night on Beyond Trek podcast.
Welcome to Drunk the podcast.
We just roll with it. Whoa. I think our audience knows that. Yeah, if we make a mistake, go with it. Just keep going.
Yeah,
we're here for vibes.
We don't edit.
Vibes only.
We don't edit because, one, we believe in transparency, and two, it's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
We don't.
That's true. Yeah.
Fixing up your guys' screw-ups is a lot of work.
Well, we're beyond screw-ups.
At least for now.
Really.
What's the name of this episode again?
The least dangerous game.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll not edit that out.
It should be B&B Trek version, but you know.
B&B Trek version.
Or D&D rather.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Red alert.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Beyond Trek Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, I'm Dag, and with me in the room today, I've got Big J, Suzanne, and Renzo. Today we're going to be talking to you about Lower Decks Season 3, Episode 2, The Least Dangerous Game. This is your spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. This episode was really funny for me. Background, like, intentional. I flipped my lid. It was so good.
I was wondering when or if a reference like that would come up, and I am so thrilled that it has, and I'm waiting for the rule book. I'm waiting for it.
Batleths and Binucks.
Batleths and Binucks. I love it.
Make it so much. But before that, Suzanne, you want to summarize this episode for us?
Let's do a scene by scene, baby.
Excellent.
So the episode starts with a rallying cry from Martok explaining that he has honored his house and will die a glorious death, but will we? We see the team huddled over a game board and a tablet from which Martok asks for the number of players. He hears 4, and thus the game of Batleths and Binucks begins. If I mispronounce that, I'm sorry. They will all die on the journey, but will they do it with honor? While Tendi rolls her dice and strikes down a foe, Rutherford remarks that it's strange Martok recorded all of the game, which, of course, he didn't, as the game is, according to Boimler, a Ferengi knockoff. Tendi says it's nice to have a break, but Mariner reminds them that Ransom has been watching her like a hawk to make sure she doesn't break protocol. Just then she's summoned by Ransom, saying she's almost late for being early to their mission briefing, and Boimler wishes that he was in that kind of favor with the higher-ups. He learns then that Vendome, a Bolian colleague, moved up the ranks all the way to captain, which upsets him because of how hard he tries without moving up the ranks at all. Tendi tells him that maybe planning out his moves isn't the right way to go about it. Vendome moved up because he always tried new things, whether he was sure of himself or not. On the shuttle, Ransom explains that the planet Dulane is unable to use transporters, so they use orbital lifts, or space elevator, as Mariner calls it. to get down to the planet. One of them is broken, so the engineers have to repair it. When they arrive, Ransom sends Rutherford and Billups not to repairs, but to conduct the diplomatic affairs, much to Mariner's dismay. She remarks that engineers could do it faster, but Ransom wants to keep her on the lift to keep her out of trouble, and to punish her for having broken protocol so much in the past. Rutherford and Billups then go down to the planet to enjoy lots of drinking and kissing and exposed navels. Meanwhile, in the ensign's sleeping hallway, which I still think is so funny, Tendi continues explaining to Boimler that he has to take risks to get where he wants to go, instead of being so careful all the time. Boimler's unsure if he can, and when someone asks him to compete in a game, he says no. But with some nudging from Tendi, he says yes and goes to play. He loses quite badly, as we expected, but his screams impress Shax, who asks him to perform in his Bajoran dirge choir. And when he does, Shax says that he honors the prophets with his voice. He lets him know that if he ever needs a favor, he's a combadge tap away. On the orbital lift, Ransom is lifting a pipe while Mariner explains to him that engineers could have gotten the job done much faster. Billups calls them, explaining that everything is going well as he and Rutherford are served drinks. Apparently there will be a feast later. It's a really good time. Mariner is obviously annoyed, and Billups reminds Ransom of a step that he had forgotten in the repairs, but he lies and says that he did it. Mariner and Ransom argue, and eventually the pipes begin steaming, and thus repairs begin anew. On the Cerritos, Tendi and Boimler are in the mess hall, and Boimler explains how much favor he's gotten in one day just by trying new things that he didn't plan. Tendi is proud of him, but they are suddenly approached by a large creature named Cranch, who is possibly the best character in Lower Decks. I love him so much. Who asks if either of them are willing to be hunted, as his species has a natural urge to catch prey. Tendi says no, like a normal person, but Boimler says yes, because he said that he would say yes to the next thing anyone asked of him. And thus, the hunt begins. Ransom gets another call from Billups, who explains that they had broken one of the planet's rules and that the locals were incredibly angry with them, and he asks for backup. Ransom, not wanting to be proven wrong, of course, says no, and Mariner is visibly upset. She knows that neither of them are equipped to handle a diplomatic mishap, but Ransom, who is watching YouTube videos to figure out repairs, same, still won't budge. Meanwhile, Boimler goes to Cranch's quarters, and it looks very much like he isn't going to be able to get out of it. Cranch paints his face, lights some candles, and then starts chasing Boimler across the hallways into Cetacean Ops and all the way to Captain Freeman. She at first agrees to give Boimler a security detail, but belays the order when she realizes that he has given Cranch his word that he would let him hunt him, having spent time with Cranch at brunch that afternoon. Ransom and Mariner get one more distress call, and Mariner finally breaks, going into the skydiving deck and putting on a suit to go get her friends. She gets a call from Ransom moments later, and he apologizes for misjudging her and commends her for staying on task. He will meet her in the skydiving bay so that he can go get them, and Mariner has to land, climb up endless flights of stairs, just to get there. Boimler finally finds a hiding spot in the repair bay, but the Klingon program goes off, and as he tries to shut it up, Martok ends up giving him advice to the effect of never give up, never surrender. He paints his face, grabs some tools, and meets Cranch in the hallway, announcing his intent to become the hunter before he is promptly speared in the chest. Cranch, instead of killing him, takes a photo for his friends back home, explaining that catch and release is integral to his culture. If I mispronounce that, I'm sorry. Then takes one more photo as Boimler passes out from blood loss. Mariner has to scale a rock wall before she is able to get to Ransom, and she pretends she wasn't just jumping out of the lift as they put their suits on again and dive down to the volcano that Billups and Rutherford are about to be thrown into as sacrifice. Apparently, this planet not only has a wellness-based culture, but also an evil sentient computer, a telepathic baby, and a sentient volcano for checks and balances. Ransom, in order to impress them, takes his shirt off, and the baby says that he is wise and agrees to hear him out. He is able to prevent Billups and Rutherford from being sacrificed. On the ship, Ransom congratulates Mariner for staying on task, but reminds her that it doesn't cover for all of the past insubordination. She tries to compliment him and he rejects it, and she heads to the repair bay to play B&B with the gang. Boimler says that he has some damage to his shoulder and that it will always feel off, but for the foreseeable future he is now bold Boimler and will say yes to risky things in the future. Tendi doesn't seem to think he's learned the right lesson from that. Mariner says that Ransom is the reason Rutherford was going to be sacrificed in the first place and calls him a jerk, but Rutherford said it was his fault for not having his belly button out in the temple, and that Ransom saved both of them, so he doesn't seem to mind. Bold Boimler gets his character to go into the bar and demand blood wine, but he is killed with his own ripped-off arm, and the game then cuts them off until they can buy the next expansion pack. Ferengi black market taxes not included. It's so good.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Yeah, no problem. I messed up a lot there, but
I would get the DLC if I was them.
So
Just-
true. The Gowron expansion.
That there is DLC in the 24th century hurts my heart.
It's so wonderful.
But it's
It's
from the
so
Ferengi,
good.
so it shouldn't surprise you at all, right?
Perfectly.
Yeah, it's from,
No,
it's from the famous
perfectly.
capitalists.
So I really loved the Batlets and Banuch's idea, but they're not the first recent sci-fi show that's done it too, right? So like Voltron Legendary Defender did Monsters and Mana for a full episode
Mhm.
once. That was a blast too. So like, you know, mainstreamify D&D. Let's do it.
That was a
Interesting.
good series too.
Interesting thing, it's not the first time a cartoon has done a telepathic baby in recent history either, for those of you who are Gravity Falls fan.
Oh yeah.
Future Baby was Future Telepathic Baby.
This
There is one mind-numbingly pedantic but serious error that we'll talk about later, because I want to see if any of you guys caught like the big error, and even Mike McMahon acknowledged it on Twitter when it was pointed out, saying that he fucked
Oh
up.
no. Oh no.
can you give us a hint?
I could, but it's a good exercise.
Oh,
Don't leave
okay.
too much silence in there. We have viewers. All right.
It had
I mean-
it had to be when Ransom was
So-
working out, doing squats or something like that, and they're doing the repairs.
So
I have to
Or the
think about
game.
that. While
So
I'm
they're
thinking
in
of
an orbital
that,
elevator, right? They're in a
It's okay.
space elevator. Gravity's going to be dramatically lighter further up.
it's okay.
well, but they have artificial gravity.
No, it's pedant. It's even more pedantic than that. It's not like
Oh my
fuck it.
God.
I'll just say it. Okay, so what kind of a team was Boimler invited? What kind of a sport was Boimler
That's
invited
what I
to
was
play?
thinking. Is something about the game.
Boimler was
Spring
invited
ball?
to play.
Spring ball?
He was invited to play spring ball. Right. The background is not a spring ball background. That's a racquetball background. DS9 did both
Yes.
spring ball and racquetball.
Oh.
But this is the racquetball background from when O'Brien and Bashir had their racquetball contest. And somebody pointed it out on Twitter, and Mike
there a
McMahon was like, I
difference?
fucked up and mixed them up. Oops.
There's
For
a
shame.
difference between a spring ball background and a racquetball background?
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference. There is.
So racquetball like this has the targets all over the place. Spring ball just has the target in front of you.
Okay.
Right.
Huh.
There is a difference,
This-
and I confirmed it on Memory Alpha. So, that was very
Of course you
interesting to me. And of course, in the stage of streamed media, the production can simply swap out the background and re-upload the episode. It wouldn't be a big deal. But yeah. So
This-
that is the
Oh, I'm
the
sorry, Dan.
pedantic continuity error.
Well, if anyone's going to find it, it's going to be us Star Trek fans.
That's
Or
yeah.
or a user on Twitter
So-
who's just very eagle-eyed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Twitter is the place where like pedantic Star Trek fans go. That's where they live. It's like the dark
best-
shadowy place, but with like white men with opinions. Like it's like the dark shadowy place in The Lion King, but it's much worse. But no,
The best
yeah,
way
I
to
didn't.
find
I
the
didn't
right
notice
answer
that.
to a question on the internet, honestly, is to say something wrong, right? Like ask a question,
Yes.
respond with a different name, and say something wrong.
Yes.
Because then
There's-
people will show up just to correct you.
There's
Oh,
a name
yeah.
for that
That's
law.
true.
Can't remember what it is, but there's a name for that law on the internet. The
Oh,
best
let
way
me
to
look
get a
that
right
up.
answer is to post a wrong answer. But
Yep.
yeah. So it starts with basically a D&D game and turns into an orbital skydiving paradise with a B-plot hunt aboard the ship.
And skydiving suits because we need those.
Cunningham's Law.
Cunningham's Law is
That-
correct.
Yeah, that's Cunningham's Law.
Yeah. Usually I say it's Murphy's Law, and then people correct me.
No.
Uh-huh.
It's oh, damn it, Dag.
I was trying to figure out a way to do it, but I didn't. I was just like, you know what? I feel like Dag has this one covered.
Yep.
I feel like he's got it covered.
He came in hot.
Oh boy.
yeah,
So this
I'll bring
game
in all
that
the
they were
puns.
playing, the game they were playing, reminded me of Star Trek: A Klingon Challenge. You guys remember that? It was an older VCR game, and Robert O'Reilly was a headliner in that game as a Klingon, but not as Gowron. Was a different character in that. So, little throwback there for you.
If you are listening to this or you are watching this, you, the viewer or listener who is viewing or listening now, experience Beach! Sorry, you don't know what that is. You'll have to look it up.
Oh my God. We should be careful about telling people to experience beach. Some people may not be comfortable with that in public, so careful.
That's true. I could derail a whole bus. All right, experience beach if it is safe for you to do so and for the others around you, and if you consent to experience beach.
Experience it responsibly.
So what I heard you say is, go do that at the mall.
If it's safe. Ugh. Okay, so
mostly.
Can we talk about Cranch? Can we do a spotlight on Cranch?
I love Cranch.
Yeah.
Cranch.
I love him.
Cranch is the best dressing in the universe right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You knew when he was walking around in the background, like this guy's he's playing a role here.
I was watching it, and I turned, because my dad and I watched it together, and I turned around and I was like, what the fuck is that thing? What is that thing? What is it doing? And I thought it was such a good device to get you to go like, hey yo, what's going on? And it's just, he's just a big predator. I love him. The best. I also love the random little screeching interludes that we get of like, it's not actually dialogue, it's just him going off in the background like, Now, awesome. It's amazing.
Renzo, did you say that you recognized Cranch's species from another franchise?
He looks dead on like a Mass Effect Turian. He looks just like the Turians, wearing bulkier armor, but he looks just like one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
I haven't played Mass Effect, so I have to take your word for it.
Yeah, I guess I have to play Mass Effect now.
Oh, I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't played it, but I do know what you're talking about.
So you all totally need to play it. It's a very expansive sci-fi story. It takes place over like about a decade of content, like internally to it, and it's really, really well done.
I am Bad Dag. I actually have all three of them on my computer. I got to the part in the first one where you're at like the city awaiting like a council decision, and there were too many side quests, and I was like, I'm bored, and I stopped.
Yeah.
Well, you can't get yourself mired in all the side quests, then you'll never get through it. Side quests can just put you right in a rabbit hole.
100%.
Did you guys catch who was the voice actor for Cranch?
I did not.
Missed it.
Nolan North again. Nolan North does another appearance as a one-off character in Lower Decks.
What was the other one that
He's done a bunch. He did Sokel, the Vulcan captain in 3 ships in Wedge Douche.
Oh, yeah.
Been a Cerritos cadet. He was Lars Lundy, also in this episode, the creepy-looking engineering guy. He was the reverse aging passenger in Much Ado About Boimler. He's been in a bunch of Lower Decks episodes.
Oh, okay. Wow. So he's just all over the place. Nice. It's like the Jeffrey Combs of the...
I mean, he is.
Lower Decks universe. Dope.
He's done a lot of stuff.
He's a super successful and recognizable voice actor, so the fact that he keeps coming back like, give me more Lower Decks, please, is really cool.
I love that. But yeah, no, Cranch is my favorite. The inhaling the candle smoke was a bit, that was a good bit. There's something about him. I don't know. And I also love the giant like pronged selfie stick. I felt like that was a good touch to have. Just like it still has weapons on it, but you can like take little photos.
I love the Predator vibes of this guy in his hunt.
Yeah, definitely Predator vibes. But the thing I really wanted to mention was actually the name of the episode. So it's The Least Dangerous Game, right? Mm-hmm. It's a reference to a story that most of us probably read in high school at some point called The Most Dangerous Game by Richard Connell, right? So in that story, you've got this guy who thinks he's a badass big game hunter who goes to some Amazonian rainforest to kill a jaguar. And the hunters that he's hired to help him and take him there offer him a choice where he can play a more interesting game, and he ends up hunting humans. So the most dangerous game is not hunting an animal, but hunting a human. So the reference here is the fact that Boimler may be a human, but he's not exactly threatening, so he's the least dangerous game.
Oh my god.
Boimler threatening?
Awesome.
Never.
God, he's
No.
bold Boimler now, guys.
Well, he's going to say yes to the next thing he's asked, which, has anyone ever done that? I've thought about something like that, but I've never been able to really get the courage to say, okay, I will say yes to any of the next things I'm asked. Like the movie Yes Man. What's his name? Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
So
I haven't. Yeah, I can never get. No, I'm very much. I don't plan things. I just don't take risks ever because I'm scared of them. I'm very much Boimler in that case. Mostly because when I do take risks, I like part of this is hard to explain. I have to have things explained to me so clearly because part of my like ADHD autism fun comorbidity is that what seems like common sense to most people will not be common sense to me. And so I have to have things explained to me. So if I take risks and like decide, oh, I'll do it myself. I can do it by myself. No, you can't. No, you can't. I absolutely cannot. And so for me, this was hilarious because I have said yes to things and then immediately been like, this is bad. This is really bad. So yeah, I felt that. I love that he did not learn a single lesson from it at all. And Tendi was like, hey,
no,
brother, maybe my brother in Christ, you do not have to be hunted to be worthy. And he was like, no, it's Boimler. I love him. God, what a freak.
I think Boimler's just destined to not learn anything from his mistakes or the things he gets himself
Boimler in his
into.
little Klingon hat. He's a freak. I love him.
He has ridged headpiece.
He's cosplaying my favorite. I'm gonna cosplay Klingon cosplay Boimler. That's a new cosplay. New plan.
You're gonna
Christ.
cosplay Boimler, cosplaying as a Klingon.
Precisely.
Okay.
That'd be delightful.
That's
or Tendi.
So-
Maybe
Hell of a
Tendi.
bit of inception there.
Did anybody else
Meta.
catch the second renowned voice actor who also did a voice in this episode? Troy Baker
I did not.
plays
Oh, okay.
Joel in Last of Us, among a very deep resume of other characters, and Kai Lang in Mass Effect 3. Nobody remembers
Sick.
Kai Lang,
Cool.
though. Too bad.
So basically, a bunch of Mass Effect actors they're bringing over. Should I play that? I've heard of it. I think played a little bit, but you know,
I haven't played it, but I've watched the cutscenes, and I'm one of those people. I don't game because it takes too much focus for me. I don't enjoy it all the time. But it is a very pretty series. I'll say that. It's really, really, really gorgeous, and it's kind of creepy and dark, and yeah, I'd say it's really good sci-fi. From what I've seen of it, I just haven't played it, so Renzo is probably the best authority on that one.
Agreed.
Yeah, having played them, I think that they make a solid sci-fi story. It generates a really cool universe. They tell good stories about different races and why they interact in a certain way. They give you characters that you can customize and personalize as you go. Like, there's a lot to it. The game is what you make it. You can choose to be Billy Badass that shoots everything on first sight, or you can be the diplomat who really puts together like the coalition necessary to survive the existential threat that's coming for your ass.
Dope.
I'm looking up the name of it. Let's see. It was it Angel 1? Yes, it was. First season of Next Generation. Really made me
Riker
think
and
of that a
his-
lot.
and
The
his super
running
awesome
around in the
shirt.
yes, and everybody running around like almost half naked.
The thing I'm really waiting for, though, as far as Bradley or Boimler is concerned, is when the other Boimler shows up and he's now like a lieutenant commander or a commander, and it's just like making you feel bad because you're trying to be bold Boimler, but William Boimler has shown up and now he's a commander.
Fuck! I forgot about the cologne. Boimler's. There's two of them. Shit. Oh no.
Wait a minute, no, I have the wrong episode. I was thinking of it was the one that Wesley stepped on the bushes and he was going to be
Justice.
killed on site.
Justice.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get my running around half clothed episodes mixed up.
Man,
Yeah, there's a lot of those in Drag.
this
Horny space show.
this episode really went for like overdoing it in the sentient volcano plus computer plus telepathic baby plus fitness obsessed species with no personal boundaries, and then freaking Ransom's pure physique saves the day.
Why did the animators give Ransom so much ass? Like, what did you when he's lifting and it's just somebody made that creative choice, and they are my favorite person.
That's Starfleet's ass.
That's Starfleet's ass right there, baby. I was
gonna say.
Yep.
That's the Cerritos' ass. Because every starship gets its own ass. Riker was the Enterprise's ass. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I wonder if Ransom. I wonder if we're gonna get a Ransom stepping over a chair like that. I hope we get like a Ransom Riker move.
But yeah, all three of the.
But then he's like falling on his ass.
All three parts of their government were definitely like TOS references, right? So Psychic Baby is a reference. Yeah. Talking Computer that's just and good is definitely a TOS reference. And like Volcano Advisor is also very much a TOS thing. Like they just went hard on this one race.
I don't know what the volcano was talking about with lava tubes, but that shit was funny.
No.
It cracked me up.
That probably wasn't the takeaway of that scene.
It's just so weird. It's so weird. I love it.
Can I say again, I might be in the minority here, but I do not like Commander Ransom. Just as a character, I can't get into him. Like he's the only character that the least amount of screen time he has, the better. I don't know what it is. I guess I can't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. All I know is I don't like him.
I like the idea of Ransom. I think that the annoying thing with me when it comes to Ransom is that he breaks protocol and doesn't face any consequences because he's the guy. And I don't know. He doesn't feel first officer material to me. Like he doesn't he doesn't feel commander material to me. And I feel like we might get to know more of him in this season. Like I feel like he's one of those characters that you don't like and then you learn about them or whatever. He just drives he reminds me of too many frat boys I knew in college.
He's too much of a Chad.
He's too much of a Chad. I feel like he would write. I feel like he thinks he's an alpha male, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't like him. Go ahead, Renzo.
He's the heel. He's the heel in the storyline for everything that Mariner does. You're not supposed to like him. You're not supposed to. That's the point. He's supposed to be the stick in the mud that tries to set her on the straight and narrow. Even if he's not on the straight and narrow, you're not supposed to like him. And he does.
He's the Razor Ramon of the Cerritos. The heel. Yeah, you ever watch wrestling? Razor Ramon often was a heel. Who else were notable heels?
Everybody's been a heel. They made Triple H a heel for a while. John Cena was a heel for a long ass time. Like they've made everyone a heel at some point.
Triple H? Oh, say it's not so. So he's the heel, but you're right. I think the characterization, there's potential in there somewhere. I can kind of feel it, but it just hasn't been happening.
To me, it matches a lot with like Jerry's just general vibe. I feel like voice actor. I feel like that's the perfect character for him, and I think he does a really good job.
I think he does a great job with it, but it's the opposite vibe I get from Jerry O'Connell. Jerry O'Onnell does not strike me as the frat boy type in the
No, I just mean that like he's the silliness of it. No, he's not. No. I don't mean that at all. No, he gives me nothing but good vibes. I just think the silliness is on brand a little bit because Ransom, as much as he's like full of himself, is also just silly. Like,
well, other characters seem to like Ransom though. Remember, most of the rest of the crew seems to love him. Right? When we see the people in like the turbo lifts that are like part of his like moon squad or whatever it was, like
my God,
plenty of people who fucking love him. So clearly he's doing something right. The only people who seem to dislike him is Mariner, because Mariner is the subject of his torture.
And Big J. Yeah. Mariner doesn't really care for him, neither does Big J. Maybe one of these days.
Jay doesn't like him. Scratch. Starting over. Drawing board.
Right.
What did Dag say about we can re-upload the episode? Just scrub it.
Edit him out of it.
Oh, God,
why can't they Tasha Yar him like they did to the Hemmer in Strange New Worlds? So I guess it's not the first season, so they have the chance.
My boy, I miss him.
So where have we seen Captain Vendome before?
In the episode of the Crystal Aliens. In the Lower Decks episode of the Crystal Aliens, he got a spear in the chest.
Vendome was an ensign introduced in Second Contact. And the Inglewood's previous captain, Chapman, remember the Inglewood is the ship that Vendome is now captain of. The previous captain was turned into a baby by a temporal rift.
Incredible. God, you would never catch me on a starship. That's the thing. Look, I love Star Trek. I love because like I love Star Trek. Star Trek's dope. Put me in space. Woo, fun, right? No, absolutely not. That's the thing that I love about people that actually criticize the show for like, oh, but they wouldn't do this. Or it's like whatever. They're too emotional, like on Discovery, because people are annoying. It's like, oh, they're too emotional. We talk about their emotions. If you were on that starship, you would shit your pants. You would cry for your mommy. And you would turn into a baby in a temporal rift. So yeah, count me out. I would rather
get transporter cloned. That would be my luck.
So
I would get transporter cloned, and my clone would be better than me at everything. I feel. I feel like I would have a Boimler situation where it's like, oh cool, I have a clone now. Nope, they're a captain. I'm gonna cry now. Like I feel like that would happen.
Captain Vendome staffed his senior staff with entirely Bolian senior staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 other ships in Star Trek that have either a mostly or a definitely single alien non-human race crew. Can you name one?
Yes.
I've got 2 for you. I've got 2.
I'm
the
gonna.
USS Intrepid, which was
No, go ahead. I was gonna hand it over
the
to
USS
you.
Intrepid, which was all Vulcans, and the USS Tecumseh, which was all Vulcans.
That's 2 of them. Do you remember the third? This is like a level 12 question. I wouldn't have remembered what Renzo remembered, and I think I'm pretty good
I remember,
at this. So.
I remember the Vulcan ones. As TOS was the first one that referenced that, and then DS9. Take Me Out to the Holosuite.
Yep. This is a very obscure one because it was never on screen in this capacity.
Right.
But Captain Sylvia LaForge's USS Hera had a mostly Vulcan crew.
Yeah, that's
Did
fair.
it?
Geordi's mom's ship.
Okay. Okay.
You are a trivia boy. You know all of the things. I would never have.
I know exactly who in the episode he's talking about, but I just missed that part.
Honestly, I'm literally stealing content from a user named USS Burrito Truck on Reddit. If you're listening or watching, feel free to go on Reddit. This user posts trivia connections every week. Usually has several paragraphs listed by like midday local time, so they have nothing better to do than make my life better.
And give you more trivia to throw at us.
Absolutely.
For
Thank
sure.
you, Burrito Truck.
Well, I think we should get more of that. And having a ship that all the senior staff was Bolian, there's no reason that we couldn't see more of that. We saw basically entire crews of Vulcans 3 times. So I would think that there are Starfleet ships that have been mostly manned by Andorians, Tellarites, something, other than the majority of it being humans like we usually see.
It was cool. I like to see it, and I know it was. I guess it's probably like meant to be like a kitschy thing, just like all the blue people on the bridge or whatever it is. But one of my friends on Twitter, Shona, loves the Bolians so much, and like freaked out when she saw it, and it was just it's cool. It's nice to see that that small subgroup of Trek fans. It's like more Bolians now. And we have a whole Bolian crew. I thought it was really cool. And just maybe it was meant to be silly, but I thought it was neat, and I think it's like weirdly kind of a precedent, sort of. So
when Ransom sends Billups and Rutherford down to the planet, he says to Billups, "We wouldn't want you to accidentally become king down there." Why does he say that?
Because of his
because and he comes from royalty,
and if he loses his virginity, he becomes king.
Yep, you blocked out that episode.
Not bad. Not bad. So
much.
We talked about Captain Vendome earlier. Captain Vendome was in the episode with those crystal aliens where he got stabbed in the shoulder by a spear. Who in this episode gets stabbed in the shoulder with a spear?
Boimler.
Yeah.
The Boiminator.
Boimler even references that. He's the guy who
Boimler
gets stabbed by a spear on away missions. And then he gets stabbed by a spear.
God, maybe he's moving up the ranks type shit.
But not on an away mission. So it's
I
different.
love my boy.
Right, it wasn't on an
certainly
away
was
mission.
a mission. It was something.
Do
But
you
it looked like it hurt like a bitch.
one thing that's kind
Yeah.
of cool is that we can
Mhm.
see the influence of Grand Nagus Rom's changes to the Ferengi economy, as the Ferengi black market actually has a tax levied against it now.
Lit.
Where'd you see that?
At the end, when they're talking about when Martok is
Oh,
talking
the
about buying
expansion
the
pack,
DLC and the expansions and having
Yeah,
to pay
Ferengi black market tax,
Ferengi
not
black
included.
market tax. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awesome. I listen. My favorite part about the episode, I think, is Mariner having to land off the skydiving and just shit, and get to the stairs, and then the rock wall. It's
Yeah.
what? It's so random, but it's just it's so good. I just loved the very exasperated fuck. I love Mariner. She's the worst and the best at the same time.
I like the skydive. Looked just like the skydive from Star Trek 2009.
Yeah, it was very. It did feel
the
very.
orbital dive.
It was a very good AOS reference. Yeah, it was nice.
She almost hit this thing and just cartoonishly dove right out of the way. Whoa!
And Vendome,
Yeah.
Vendome must have been taking like the J.J. Abrams Cadet Kirk command path, because he went from ensign to captain in 2 years, 2 seasons.
Like a month.
Sure,
Like,
of course. Forget about it. Yeah, you can go from cadet to captain in a day. Forget
oh my
about it.
god. It's like he just went and saved a bunch of Borg babies or something. Did something really, really cool. But that's nuts. I love the idea though that Renzo brought up about the transporter, or not the transport clone, but the clone in general of Boimler coming back to haunt him. I really hope that happens. I really hope we get to see like his counterpart be captain or something. Oh god, that'd be awesome.
Oh no, that would.
I know we're gonna see Badgie again. I know we're gonna see some old characters again, and I'm
You
excited.
think so?
I
In the
think
trailer?
I think
Okay.
it was in the trailer. But hello, father.
Oh.
God, I love Badgie. Maybe one of my favorite. Maybe one of my favorite Star Trek characters ever. Period. I'm excited for that. But yeah.
All right, so we've done 2 episodes of the 10-season block for Lower Decks Season 3. We know we expected like Captain Freeman's thing to kind of be a season-long arc, which would have been nice. The whole Season 3 search for Spock, doing the whole Steely ship thing. That was cleverly subverted by reminding us this is Star Trek Lower Decks, and nobody gets to be a part of the big cast or the
Nope.
Morgan Bateson
Yep.
spy ring with help from
Tuvok and his mind meld.
Tuvok, and obvious. Well, no, not obvious. Never mind. What are you guys looking forward to in the upcoming remaining episodes?
Klingons, because I feel like we're not done.
More Klingons.
We're not
Yeah?
done with Klingons. I feel like that's going to come up.
Did anybody notice a change to the opening credits? Did we talk about this last week?
Yes.
Crystalline entity
Yes.
being
The
added?
crystalline entity. Yeah. So the
Were the
first
Klingons
season.
already there?
So in the first season,
Okay.
we had Cerritos showing up on Romulans firing on Borg ships. In the second season, it was the Cerritos showing up on Romulans fighting Borg with Pac-led club ships and Klingon bird of preys. Now we have all of those and a crystalline entity in the background. So
Interesting.
very interesting maneuvers there. I don't think we're done with the Pac-leds. I think they just had a setback by blowing up their really big city.
Big strong city.
On
I
Pac-Led planet.
While I forget her name, I love her, but I need to see that riotous Vulcan officer.
Talin.
Talin. That was
they-
my
Talin.
point too. I want Talin back.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope we see Talin. I don't think that they would have had that. I don't know. I don't think that we would have had the whole transfer to Starfleet thing if it weren't going to be somehow important later in the show.
Oh yeah.
And I love her. So.
Yeah. We're definitely going to see more of Talin. I'm interested in seeing like Talin play against Mariner, because I think both of them have a self-sacrificial component when there's danger. And it would be interesting to see them both play off each other like, you can't sacrifice yourself, I'm sacrificing myself. While also protecting Boimler, Tendi, and Rutherford.
Right.
Yeah, I think I do have one gripe. I have one gripe, thus far.
You've
and
got
it's that
beef.
Last season,
You've got
I have
beef. You've got
Suzanne has
beef.
beef.
We have beef.
I have.
Who's
beef
taking
of
my
the
beef?
Lesbian nature. I look. Last season, at the end, we saw Mariner and Jennifer have a moment. Okay, that's not rep. I feel that's just them being like, gay people exist. Cool. Now we're gonna go do this. I just feel like it would be nice to get more of Jennifer, and maybe we'll see more of Jennifer. Maybe we'll see more of her. I feel like we should, if they're gonna do that. Because if they're gonna do that to like dangle it and then yank it, I don't know. I don't like that.
I do have good news for you. I know that Jennifer is going to be back this season. I don't know in what capacity though, because the teaser that I saw just had a little blink and you miss it kind of werewolf Jen, like werewolf Vandorian Jen, in a
if
really
they kill her, I swear
weird
to God.
mashup of things. No, they're not going to kill her, obviously, but we could get a T'Lyn, Jen, Mariner love triangle. Or just an open polycule, like It's Time.
Gay people, gay people, gay people, gay
I'm
people. I just
for
gay
it.
people in
Let's
space.
do it.
Gay people.
Jay, do you have anything
I want to see more gays in space.
that you are interested seeing in season 3?
Less of Ransom. So that would be 1.
Boo!
And you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see a 2-parter. We kept talking about the thing with Captain Freeman. I don't see why we couldn't get some kind of 2-parter, right?
You know, you
That's
just
true. I mean,
reminded me.
Mariner's been to Klingon prison before, so might do it again.
You just reminded me, and I'm pissed. Now I have beef.
We all have beef.
No, here's my beef.
Let's hear the beef.
In the season finale of season 2, Carol gets arrested, and they do the to be continued thing across the screen. And I said then that we were going to see something we hadn't seen in 20-something years, and that was a recap. Last time on Star Trek Lower Decks, and do the recap of that episode, because that's what they do in the 2-parters. They do the recap. We didn't get a recap. We didn't get a recap. Cancel everything. Lower Decks is trash.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No, I'm kidding. I really am kidding. Like, I'm just hyped up.
I was just like,
yeah.
dang. Oh my God. But no, yeah, no. I also missed that. I feel like that would have been good. I guess that's what the newscast was for.
Oh, yeah. It was
It's still not a recap.
I wanted my nostalgia. Where's my nostalgia? Oh, you know what? Every episode is packed with nostalgia, Dag. Shut the
New
hell
track
up.
sucks.
You're
New track's
canceled.
bullshit. Where's the recap?
Brr,
Where's the bull?
brr,
Boo.
Boo.
Oh,
The old lady from
man.
Princess Bride.
Yeah,
Boo.
exactly what I was thinking.
Boo.
I mean,
Oh,
Dag,
God.
I think there might be a little bit of gray in your beard at this point. Are you starting to sound like a Trek beard at this point? Like, man,
Yeah. Oh, no.
I'm
Can
worried.
you see that on camera? Like, do I need to get a dye job going on? No.
Oh my God.
It's everybody else who's wrong.
It's everyone else's
Yeah,
wrong.
they are.
Recap, where is it? Oh,
No,
God.
for
No,
me,
I'm
the two things
totally
I'd like to see
chill.
in the season. The two things I'd really like to see in the season is I would like to see some more with like the T'Lyn and the Bacta, the Klingon ship. Like, give me some more from Wedge Douche, because I think that's pretty widely regarded as one of the best episodes of the show. So
If not the-
follow that up somewhere. And I would actually like a space battle, like another nice one, like we had at the end of last season. Like, just because they did it so well in Wedge Douche. So give me another one like it, and I will be happy as a clam.
I agree. Space
Fair.
battles are good, especially with the Cerritos crew. I feel like, I don't know, there's just so much room for fun shit there. But I mean, yeah, what the Three Ships episode was definitely, probably in my opinion, the best episode of Lower Decks. And so that one, I don't know. I feel like it would be. It wouldn't be smart of them to not do something like that again, because they totally should. But yeah, I feel like we're probably going to see more of that, more space battles, as the season progresses. I hope so, because like there's so many new ships to consider now too.
I can always go for big space battles.
Love me some
Always.
big space sparky boom boom. I love that. I love watching lasers go pew pew. It's pure id. It's pure id at that point. I'm just like, yeah, make the lasers go.
They're firing lasers at us. Does that even affect the navigational deflector? You mean phasers, Suzanne. Phasers.
They're space lasers. I don't care. They're space.
I have one more bit of trivia. The name of the game is Batleths and Binuks. What's a Binuk? It's a
Oh.
This
coward.
one, I have no idea. Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Batleths and Binuks. Binuk is the Klingon word for coward.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
God, it's so good, and it even sounds like D&D.
Also,
B&B.
I have it on good accord that the subtext under, well, I don't know what it says. Users from the Klingon Language Institute are sort of gratified that it's actually Klingon words and not just gibberish.
Did you
Nice.
notice that the ampersand in there actually looks like it has a batleth in it, whereas in Dungeons and Dragons, the ampersand looks like it has a dragon coming out of the ampersand?
Oh, that's so cool.
That's really well observed because they kind of just the flaming bits. But yes, that definitely looks
It
like a
does.
batleth. I'm all about it now. That's great. That's really, really great. And
It's
also,
so
you know,
sick.
is there like a Klingon calisthenic motion that can mimic an ampersand? No, I don't know.
Probably.
What was the name of the
Wouldn't
Klingon
shock me.
calisthenics that Worf did? He was trying to teach. He
Cedo
was trying to teach
Jaxa?
row, I think.
No,
Oh
that's-
yeah, Cedo Jackson's who it was.
There was some kind of thing that he was trying to teach her that she said was an unfair
Akbara?
test. And
Yeah.
she
Oh,
stood
wow.
up
We
to
Googled.
it, and Memory Alpha is not moving fast enough for me, so this is kind of lame.
Please play the Jeopardy. Please play Final Jeopardy during this bit. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there is the Mark Bara. That's what she was taking, but he asked her to pass the Geek Tall challenge. The test was actually made up by Worf, who wanted to teach Cedo to stand up for herself.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Well, there.
one of Worf's fewer like chaotic good moments, as opposed to chaotic evil or lawful good.
Or just chaos in itself.
Federation's worst father.
I mean, if we want to talk about it, not just the worst father, but the dude caused ecological havoc on Risa and then said I'm sorry and went back to his ship.
Pretty much.
Isn't that something that would be not only a court-martial offense, but
You'd
I'd
think
just
so.
boot
They
it
got
out
Tom
everything?
demoted.
I mean, you'd
They
think
got Tom
so.
Paris demoted.
Yeah, but it really depends on the captain.
I know.
Like Worf didn't get busted because several episodes before or after Cisco like bioterrorized 2 colonies and got away with it.
But Janeway's the war criminal. That's it.
Oh,
Janeway's the war criminal because she
Think of
split up
Tuvix.
the 2 people
Think
because of Tuvix.
everybody,
Think of his life.
everybody wants to.
Maybe he would have cured cancer.
Everybody wants. They already have a cure for cancer. It's the
Maybe.
24th century. Nobody
I know,
has
but
cancer
still.
anymore. Damn it,
Oh,
They
Lana.
still don't have a cure. They still don't have a cure for baldness.
It's the 24th century. They don't need one. Nobody cares. Gene Roddenberry said himself.
Good catch.
Very
He
nice.
sure did.
Thank you for the opening. I appreciate that. You may notice I'm not wearing my usual uniform. I saw this shirt on Etsy and I had to have it. So
Mhm.
it's like my
It's a neat
Hawaiian.
shirt.
I've got this thing. So like, if I show up at a con near you, Seattle, I've got casual Star Trek dag, which is going to be wearing this with my Star Trek socks and my trademark hat. And if you happen to want to go to Mission Seattle to find me, that's great. I'm going to be Where's Waldo there, though. I'm not going to be like announcing it. I'm just going to walk around with my mug. If you follow me on Twitter, you know what that looks like, so you may or may not recognize me. But if Suzanne goes, that'd be cool.
I want to. I think that I am. I have just signed up for the newsletter. It asks for a company. I straight up just put Beyond Track Podcast because you have to fill it out.
Yeah,
But
but-
I, if
Absolutely.
maybe we'll apply for a panel or something. But they haven't started selling tickets or anything
Well,
yet, so I haven't looked in.
Suzanne, what state do you live in, if you don't mind sharing? You don't have to tell me here.
You can.
It's fine.
Can you cut it out? I'll tell.
No,
I
no,
live
no.
in hell. I live in the south.
No, that's close. Because I'm going to DragonCon next year.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'm probably going to DragonCon next year too because it's super
Yeah.
close to me. I'm like
we
a couple
got
hours
tickets.
out.
We got tickets to DragonCon, so we're going to DragonCon.
Oh, they're already selling them for next
DragonCon?
year? Shit.
Sounds
Yeah.
like fun.
$95 for tickets,
It's dope.
and then it's like $1,000 for like staying in the hotel.
VIP, all the
Damn.
It's how much?
So
That's insane.
DragonCon is a $95 ticket for like 5 days. The real expense is that it's held in 5 hotels who jack their prices up 600% for you to stay there. But there's another hotel down the street that's
Yep.
like, oh, it's only $181 a night. So I'm like, yeah, that's better than $899 a night at the venue.
Yeah. I can't stay all 5 days for sure, but and the thing is, I have family there, so I might straight up just stay with them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
because I have a lot of family in Atlanta, so
I've got friends that away, so it might be cool to connect. And since it's all the way across the country, maybe we can get some other hosts to show up for a little bit of time.
be dope.
Maybe.
Be dope. DragonCon is always really
Maybe.
cool. That's the only place I've ever seen Patrick Stewart. I saw him. I was in the same room as Patrick Stewart, and it was ethereal, and he
Wow.
wasn't playing.
Wow.
When is that?
It's
When's
Labor
DragonCon?
Day next year.
Oh, okay.
A friend of mine from the Starfleeters was there this weekend, and she was wearing a super awesome command uniform when she got to meet Anson Mount and got a photo op with him. And
Nice.
and she brought tongs for him.
Tongs.
Oh, I
Oh,
love
for his
that.
Tongs.
cooking.
She bought.
Nice.
Please.
Don't make me turn this
I
ship
love
around.
that.
So she
Okay,
brought
so-
tongs, and he held the tongs, so they took their picture. It's great.
Aww.
There it is.
Man.
We got to plan a trip for DragonCon.
Like, I knew this
Ethan
was going
Peck
to
was
come
there,
out.
and he was wearing a shirt. He was wearing a shirt that said "emotionally unavailable" in like lowercase font. I love
Yeah.
him so much. Him and his freaky little shirts.
Yeah, he's got the
Love you,
best
Ethan.
shirts. Ethan Peck was there. There's a lot of really good talent there. So I would love to see what happens next year at the cons. If you're interested in Mission Seattle, it's going to be the the Memorial Day weekend at the end of May.
May 26th, I believe, is the
yep.
start date.
Yep. So there's that. There's Mission Seattle. There's always Star Trek Las Vegas. Also, today is September 5th.
5th.
In 2 days, it is 7 of 9 day, the 7th day of the 9th month. 7 of
That's
9
not how we
day.
do it.
A lot of people will be
Boo.
like, no, it's the 9th. It's the 9th of July. No, that is the 9th day of the 7th month.
7
That
of
is
9.
7
Why
of
couldn't
9.
we just do
not
it
9 of
July
7.
9th?
Because that's 9 of 7.
July 9th is not.
You can't
July
have 9
9th
of
would
7.
be 7 of 9.
No, it would be 9 of 7.
Listen, sir, we do month, day, year around here.
It doesn't matter if you do month, day, year. The 7th day of the 9th month is still 7 of 9. I'm being
It's
pedantic
also my
about
dad's
it.
birthday, so I think
that's
that
cool.
wins. I
That's
know he
cool.
never ever since I've gotten back into Star Trek, every single year he's like, hey, I share a birthday with 7 of 9 day. I'm like, yeah, but yeah, as you'll know, it's her day. I'm gonna be so annoying on Twitter. Jerry Ryan, I'm so sorry for your notifications in advance.
So,
Love you, Queen.
does anybody know what
Um,
happens after 7 of 9 day?
Star Trek Day.
Star Trek
Woo, woo,
Day! Star Trek
So
Day! 56 years. Is it 56 years? Is it 60?
56.
It's 56, yeah, okay. I can math.
56 years.
It's not calculus,
it's okay.
but I can math.
We're not math people. We're podcast people. There's two very different things. No, I'm excited for Star Trek Day because last year was nuts. Last year was wild.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna see some Prodigy stuff. I know we're gonna see some Prodigy
I
stuff.
know. I saw Aaron say it, so
Yeah, I know, and I know that Kate and Brett Gray are gonna be there. And then just in general, I think it's a more like in-person friendly event, which is nice. I hope everybody stays safe though, because COVID's still out there. A lot of people got it from Vegas. A lot of people got it from DragonCon. So y'all stay safe for sure.
Ooh,
But
that sucks.
yeah, Heather got it, I think, as well.
I heard.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have gotten it, and it's it's fair, but like I also long for the days where we don't have to mask anymore to meet people. But I don't blame celebrities. I saw a lot of kind of unhealthy behavior blaming celebrities for masking, getting upset about it, like it's not personal enough or what. I was like, these people have families, like,
Yeah.
so
You know what,
I don't
though?
blame that
Like,
at all. But
even outside of a national health crisis, masking is really good for just regular
It's nice.
cleanliness and stuff like that. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people in the United States adopted it regularly or semi-regularly, just to keep those doctor visits and those health bills and even just the sick time down. You know, nobody wants
I
to be
agree with
sick.
that, and I will admit, I was like, when I went to Chicago, I was one of those people. I was pretty lax about it. I did not get COVID. I did not spread COVID. I brought tests with me. I was careful that I didn't wear a mask the whole time because I was hot and I didn't want to. That's probably not going to be the case in Seattle. I've become less of an asshole since then, I feel. But no, because it was, most people weren't masking at the time, and so it just felt fine because nobody was really. But I think that's probably going to be very different at a lot of future cons. And I'm definitely going to be masking more so for like meetups and such. So.
Well,
But anyway,
I think
Mission
that
Seattle. I'm going.
absolutely. I think that locks in our time for this episode.
Yep.
We're going to be back next week with a review of episode 3. So stay tuned for that, as well as any news that comes out of 7 of 9 Day or Star Trek Day. Keep your eyes peeled to us on Twitter at Beyond Trek Pod. You can hit me up at Trek Nexus. Big J, what's your Twitter handle again?
I think it's
I knew you
76
were gonna
Big J. I think that we confirmed that it's 76
we
Big
did
J.
that and I forgot already.
76
let me
Big
go
J.
look.
You can hit up Big J on Twitter. At Hawkshark for Mr. Renzo himself. And Suzanne has a very unique handle.
That's one word for it, sure. I got the one that I could get because Captain Janeway was already taken. So
Yep.
I'm Captain Janeway with that first A being an X.
CXPTAIN. Yep.
Indeed.
Hit us all up on
Oh yeah,
Twitter.
it's
Yell at
at
us if you're mad at us.
76 Big J.
It is, yeah. It's 76 Big J.
That's 76 Big J.
Sweet.
If you can't remember, just stop, go back 10 seconds, and play this clip again. You'll be fine. As always,
The wonders of the internet. It's
we
late.
love talking with you about Star Trek. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thanks to the 3 of you for joining us on a Monday evening to record this. It is incredibly difficult in your 30s, 40s, and maybe late 20s or mid 20s. I don't know how old some of you are.
Early 20s. I'm 22. I'm baby.
Jeez. God.
Baby.
I was
Oh
born
my
in
God.
99, Dad.
You know,
I was born
I-
in
Oh,
1999.
you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna admit this.
Ouch.
I was 22 when my mom was my age, so.
Oof. Well, yeah, my mom had me when she was 40. So yeah, I was born in
Oh,
99.
Wow.
I am barely a 90s kid.
Somebody
I'm
is.
gonna be 45 this month.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
Well,
23.
Old
In-
man.
in
35
any
2 weeks
case-
ago.
if you're listening to this, you understand the difficulty of getting multiple adults together in the same room and juggling schedules. So, shoot us some love on any social media you want. Like and do all the internet-y things that make us cool. And always so much gratitude for going boldly with Beyond Trek Podcast. Hey everybody, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our Patreon and Anchor supporters, to S. Tam and Nora Hickson. Thank you so much for being a part of Beyond Trek Podcast.
We are Beyond Trek Podcast. Lower your inhibitions and surrender your years. We will add inspirational and hilarious Trek content to your day. Your attention will adapt to subscribe to us. Resistance is futile.